Kia ora, I'm David Chester with 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz. This week at everything you need to know in 90 seconds at 9 o'clock with news some policymakers are doubling down on their goals while others are wavering. But first in the US, the Dallas Fed factory survey fell as new orders retreated. Price growth eased while wage growth remained elevated. But then negative sentiment eased somewhat and future production indicators improved a lot. But despite these clear signs American economic expansion has topped out, Fed officials are not easing up in their inflation-fighting rhetoric. Influential New York Fed President Williams said policymakers have more work to do to curb inflation, which remains far too high despite some recent improvements in supply chain challenges. Further tightening of monetary policy should help restore balance between demand and supply and bring inflation back to 2% over the next 2 years, he noted. His predecessor is also calling for holding the policy line. Both of them seem to suspect Powell may be vulnerable to pressure to ease present policy. In China, officials there are also toughening it out. Police were out in force to discourage protest gatherings in Beijing, Shanghai and Hong Kong. This comes as state media doubled down on Beijing's zero-tolerance approach to the pandemic, even as their own public health experts urged a rethink. In Australia, retail sales unexpectedly dipped by 0.2% in October from September, when a 0.5% rise was expected, on top of a 0.6% gain in September. This was the first drop in retail trade since December 2021 and comes amid living cost pressures and rising interest rates. And tomorrow, Australia will release its October CPI data, and that is expected to rise 7.5%. Keeping pressure on the RBA, which is showing signs of wavering commitments to fighting inflation. And we should also note that the price of rice is rising, now back approaching a 2-year high, which was an all-time record then. Demand is rising, supply is falling, especially from the US, and some key countries like India are restricting exports. Stocks in some large consumer countries are falling. The recent pullback of high global food prices may have only been temporary. And the US Treasury 10-year yield starts today at 3.71% and up 2 basis points. And the price of gold will open today down $10 at $1,745 an ounce. And oil prices start today up 50 US cents from this time yesterday at just on $77 a barrel in the US, while the international Brent price is just over $84 a barrel. And the Kiwi dollar will open today at 62 US cents, down 0.5 cent from this time yesterday. Against the Australian dollar with little change at 92.7 Australian cents. Against the euro was soft at 59.8 euro cents. That all means our trade weighted index starts today at 70.9 and down 40 basis points from this time yesterday. Get more news affecting the economy in New Zealand from interest.co.nz. Kia ora.